Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio with Michael and Lee. Join us with topics that wake up the connection to your soul. You can listen to us at lightenuptalkradio.com. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Lighten Up Talk Radio. It's Sunday, October 14th, and we are here for another episode. Good evening, Lee.
And good evening, Michael. How are you today?
I'm doing great. We've had an absolutely fantastic day. I'm saying we because I know you have too.
Yes, I have. It's been wonderful.
Today we had a dear friend of ours over, Michael Braswell, and we've had him on the show a couple times, and he recorded an just beautiful meditation about healing the inner child, and I just loved it.
It was terrific, and to the point that when I kind of did my recliner back, and I just totally went out, and it was just the voice tone that he has and the channeling that he does is so pure and beautiful. And, I mean, it's just wonderful to listen to. And I would encourage all that's out there listening to this, and also tell your friends and your family and everything to please go in and listen to these guided meditations. They're just great. They normally from about 30 to 40 minutes. And it's just a wonderful thing that we're trying to put out for a tool to go out to as many people as we can. So you can just listen to them and sit back and just meditate throughout the whole thing. It's just very helpful and healing.
Absolutely. And it's about healing the inner child, if I didn't already say that. I went on a real journey to go straight back into several scenarios in my childhood, and very powerful experience and transforming. I felt it go through my whole body. So yeah, you can find all of our meditations currently on the Spreaker website, on our Spreaker.com/user/lightenupmedia. And we have two shows on there, our Lighten Up Talk Radio and then our Lighten Up Tools. And all of the meditations will be in the Lighten Up Tools, so you can go and just listen to those directly without having to hear us talk beforehand. And you can come over to the show and listen to us talk.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. We actually opened ourselves up this week for a couple of people came in around the table session.
Oh, yeah.
It went beautifully. I thought it went very well. And so we are going to be entertaining to have some people that can come in to be able to talk with us and have different conversations. And we're going to just kind of mix it up to whatever that we're guided to do. This is totally guided. Absolutely.
If anyone has a scenario out there and you just want to propose it to us, we'd be totally happy to take a look at it. We had a family that, as Lee was just talking about, that connected with us through the grapevine, the divine synchronicity, and they came on and were willing, and we recorded what we thought was going to be probably an hour, turned out to be 3 hours of working with them. And we've thought about putting some of that on the air, but we'd really have to go through and siphon that out a little bit because it's so long. So we'll see if we do that or not, but we'd love to have any opportunity of anyone that would like to join us.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be to where you're on it all as far as the air. You know, we would entertain the idea just to come in and enjoy the energy in our studio, which is very powerful.
Yes,
and,
it is.
So anyway, we'll just kind of open that up to whatever that is.
Absolutely. Why don't we pick a card for the day? You want to do it?
That'd be great.
Go for it.
This is out of the Sylvia Brown deck.
Yep.
And I'm picking right here. Let's see what it says. Let me put on my glasses backwards again this week.
Oh, how funny.
It says, don't define yourself by your past or even your illness. You're in control of your life.
Oh, wow. That is really powerful because that goes right along with the story that I was going to share.
Yes. And would you like to go ahead? Because I go ahead with the story. This will be great.
Well, just this morning, I just got on the television for just a moment. And I just landed on the Oprah's channel, which happens to be one of my channels I like to watch. And it was a previous recording of where I think her name is pronounced Ilana Van Zant, was doing a talk. And she was she had used an analogy of, and I'll just very briefly go into the story because we'll take it our own way, I'm sure, but she had taken her grandson to get his eyes checked, and she made it real funny scenario around how she didn't wear glasses in any way, and there was a sale of buy one get one free, so she got her eyes checked too, and the eye doctor said something to the effect, well, where are your glasses? And she said, well, I don't have any. And she said, I don't need any. And the doctor said, well, your eyes adjust to the deficiency. And it really immediately triggered something for her, which was really powerful. It brought tears to my eyes because so many of us get so attuned and comfortable with the deficiency in our own lives that we forget to dream big. And that card just immediately triggered that. And today, I just really want to talk about this because I can tell you this has been a big one in my life where I get so used to what is going on right now that oftentimes I have forgotten many times in my life to let go of all the limits, whether from our, growing up where we were programmed by the experiences that we were around or people telling us you can only have this much or do this or do that. It's amazing how many different ways that we let those dim views, the smaller views, take over our lives. And folks, today, let's let it be known. Let's a challenge for you all, including us here at the table, to let go of those old, small-minded views and grab a vision. Aim for a vision for your life and your life only. And that vision, you don't have to share it with anybody. You can just keep it to yourself, or you can share it with people that will buy in and trust and listen to your vision. It is a vision day, visionary day. We got a vision,
day.
Don't we?
Yes, we do. We do have a vision. And this is a great topic because so many people, they absolutely shortchange themselves. Mm-hmm. And they think about, well, I need $5 to get this, instead of thinking, well, I can manifest $50 and I can get 10 of those and give them 9 other people and myself as well.
That's a good example.
Yeah.
And
my thought pattern has really gone into this in the past, particularly the last 10 years, of giving it back. So you're going to have to dream big. Dream big. Because not only do you give it, but you have to receive it. It's a total 50-50 deal of giving and receiving, both. So every time that I think about a vision of largeness, I think about, okay, this is what I need, and this is what I really want. Mm-hmm. But I also really, really need another person or more people, and I really want to give them a lot of the same type of thought pattern of manifesting it themselves. Because everybody has different dreams of what they want. And I will, somebody will say something to me, and I'll be out, and I'll see it maybe at a store, and I'll say, this person said this to me, and this is what they really like. Mm-hmm. They like this. So I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to give it to them. Well, when I do that, I get a lot more out of it than the person that I'm actually handing it to. So you always dream big. And so many people says, I can't go out to school. I'm going to give this as an example. Mm-hmm. You've got a lot of college students, or you got young people coming right out of high school, and they say, there's no way that I can go out and go to college or go to some type of technical school or whatever that it is that they're wanting to go to because I don't have the money. Well, that right there is already your first cross mark, because you really have to get the money part out of your head. Because if the desire's there, that's been put into your head as probably what you wrote in your chart, and it's divine order that's putting it in there. That's what your destiny is to do this. So when you totally go into the mode of lack of money or lack of anything that you have, then you're shutting the door instead of constantly keeping it on the front of your head to be able to manifest it out, because there will be a way that will come there. And you might not even know it that day what that is. You might not know the next 6 months what that is, but it will come to you. if it's the right thing for you, if it's been written by you and approved by God before you come down here, if this is the hottest desire that you've had in your heart, it is definitely nothing to put on the shelf. You just go for it. You just totally go for it. And that's been a dream that we've had at this table about building a retreat. And, and I'll say this again, so I keep wanting to put this out in the air. This has been a dream for years, and 2 years ago, I was in New York and was speaking with a medium up there, and my father came in while we were having this conversation, and he says, that retreat that you talk about all the time, it doesn't make any difference how much money it is. It doesn't make any difference if it's 2 million, 3 million, 5 million, whatever billion it is, or how many thousand it is. He says, just totally put it out of your mind, because it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. This has already been blessed in heaven. It's exactly what I was told. Take the money out of your mind, because I'd been going everywhere looking at property. It's going to happen, and it will be the perfect place that it needs to be, because it's already been blessed. You can absolutely trust me on this. The heavens has approved this, and it will happen in October of 2012. You will have an answer and know exactly what to do with this. Well, let me tell you something. A few weeks ago, I had looked at this property it's been now about 2 years ago, and I thought, this is totally the property. I really think this is it. Now, the funny part about that was it wasn't as many acres as I thought I needed. It wasn't as, maybe the configuration of certain things was not exactly what I'd visualized, because I'd even taken out a pen and paper and I'd put all this together, what it needed to look like. But when I actually drove on this property and I got at the top of the hill where I could look down on it, I thought, this is it. I could just, the only reason I even put that map down there is because I had it in a drawer that I could look at that. Mm-hmm. Even though the map looked different than what this property was, when I actually looked at this property, I knew it was it. I had a person in the car with me, and I said to her, this is the property. Mm-hmm. And she said, well, this is not the amount of acres you're thinking. I said, this is the property. It has nothing to do with the acreage. Totally a different vision here. What's happened is, yes, we are going to have this. Yes, we are. And it's going to be exactly what it needs to be. Now my vision 2 years later is much clearer than it was then. Don't need all that I thought we needed, because there's different things that I never even thought about putting on the property 2 years ago that now I know that is going to be on the property now. So it's the manifestation of actually having the dream of it. And it might not be perfectly what you visualize if it's been ever how long it's been. Mm-hmm. But it will be the perfect thing because it's been blessed. And I know that. And what happened is in the past 2 years, my whole vision of a lot of the things in my chart that I wrote more than what I thought I wrote. You see, mm-hmm. You see, it's normally smaller than what you think that it is, and then when you really get into your enlightenment program, it gets larger, and you see more things about it. But that comes into divine order.
Oh yeah,
it's totally a timing situation of divine order when it'll come to you. And this year has been a miracle year, a miracle year.
Amen. A woman.
A whatever.
Yeah, right.
But it has been totally put together, and it has totally concreted me to know that every single thing that comes into my head is the right thing mm-hmm. to come. And it doesn't make any difference how much money it is or how much this or how much that, because when divine says it is a done deal, it's a done deal. I don't even question it anymore. Yeah, we'll be totally in that property of April of next year. I know that. I'm not even thinking about the money. Don't think about anything because I know it's mine, and I know it's going to be put there because we got so many dreams out there that is going to supply thousands and thousands and thousands of people.
Absolutely.
Just like manifesting where we're at right now, talking right here on this show. Okay, 2 years ago, I never thought about a broadcast company. You see?
Yeah.
It's not even in.
Me either.
It wasn't even in my head. But now, it is now totally there because there will be one for all of us. The clarity is there, and this will be built around all people. I have no intentions of staying on that property all the time at all. You don't have the intentions of doing that because we have other dreams that we will go out and do. But this has been a dream that we've actually manifested, and it's going to happen. And we will invite, when that happens, we will invite all of you to come on because we can handle thousands of people.
Be wonderful.
And we're going to have a lot of schools sitting out there for children, as well as we're going to have some adult type things as well, and some totally different, unique things.
Arts, crafts, spiritual development.
Growing our own foods, I mean, all of that. And have a mentorship from all different places from all over the world. This will be the first one. And there'll be a manifested for all over in a lot of different places. This is the start. This is the blueprint. That's
amazing. And there's the grand vision. And that's what we're talking about, folks. That vision, everyone has their own path, their own purpose. And I like to set this intention today for each one of you that are listening to open up and be willing to receive, if you haven't already, the vision of your own life. A grand vision of whatever it is for you. And I'd also like to say, because I heard this and it just really resonated with me, and I've heard various forms of it my whole life, that vision equals provision. So when you have an inspired vision of whatever it is, the provision follows. It is to me, it's a law of the divine. When you are given a vision and it is inspired and the supply for it is given, and we've got to get out of our heads. You've got to get out of your head of how that supply, that provision comes to you. It's just like, Lee, what you were talking about. I mean, when you have a grand vision, that's the grand vision. That doesn't include the steps. The grand vision is a way to keep out of the dim view, the small-mindedness. It gives you something to anchor and keep going towards that direction. And any times that you get wavered from it, you can go back to the grand vision. And then comes the steps and stepping through each part of the process. And as we've learned with this grand vision, things change and clarity comes along the way. And just as this Lighten Up Media that we've started today, we started back in May. The vision of this keeps getting clearer for us and how it all ties in, but we've just followed the inspiration of these things step by step. One of my visions that I've had for a very long time, and it was given to me just like boom, and it happened after I left my corporate job. Not before, after. It was given after I took the step of faith to leave. And so don't think always that you're going to have your vision before you take certain steps. Your vision may come to you, it's going to come when it's supposed to, but don't think that you maybe are going to get your grand vision before you've done the steps that is required to get to the next one. But I've had visions, and I know, Lee, you've had these visions as well of being in front of large audiences, and I've seen them, all kinds of visions. They've popped into my head of different audiences and this and that, and being on all kinds of different media scenarios have been in my head. Again, that's a grand vision. We are at a baby step of this now, but we're just having fun with it and putting it out there, and we're not going to go from A to Z. We're just stepping through the steps and trust that vision was given for some reason. And I have that as something for me to constantly, if I ever waver in my faith, I can go back to that vision and said, this is what was given, and I am on track for that. I don't know how I'm going to get there. It doesn't even matter, because this journey, this life isn't about the destination. But there's some reason why divine will give you this master vision, so that you have something to lean on, to trust that you have a purpose of some sort that is worthy of you having a clarity to lean on, to step on, to remember, all of those things. So today, this show is about creating space and the intention. And I'd like to ask everyone that's listening, whether you've had a vision or not, to open up and be willing to receive your vision of your life. And also to let go of any small mindedness or perceptions from your childhood or the people around you that may make it smaller than what divine is giving to you, so that you can be free to let this thing come to you and you not push it away. So let's all do this together. I'd like to ask all of the angels. I'd like to ask the one creator, the true source, the ascended masters, the spirit guides, all of the divine beings of light in all of the universe to support us right now, to support you right now, to claim your greatness, to be willing to clean your life out of anything that doesn't serve you right now, and to open up to receive this vision, and it will come. It is guaranteed. Absolutely is guaranteed. And it will come exactly the way it needs to. So let's take a breath together. And the Archangel Metatron has really stepped in here and would like to work with each one of us right now. And if you're not in a comfortable position, you can always listen to this again, but just relax. And take a couple of breaths. Tune in to the rhythm within your own breath. And Archangel Metatron is just showing me a vision of this beautiful, sacred geometry of golden light coming down over your head and sweeping through your body. And you may feel a couple of pulses going up and down and up and down. Opening, enlarging, and expanding each one of your energy centers from the top of your head all the way down to beneath your feet. And helping you right at this time, Archangel Metatron wants to work with each and every one of you right now to help you prioritize the things going on in your life, to let go or step away from the things that are bringing more stress and overwhelmment that you don't need. to create a space for this grand vision of your life and or the continued clarity of the steps for your life. And Archangel Metatron says that he's going to be working with each one of you that's willing for the next 5 days. Some of you may have a dream or just feel some nudges in your life to make some very powerful change. Whatever's needed in your life, it's time. It's time to take some steps. And you can do it. You absolutely can do it. And just sit with this energy for a little bit as Metatron continues to work and helping you open up your body, mind, connection with your soul. And this will bring much grace and much clarity into your life right now. Folks, you are never alone. You have more beings around you that the Creator has given to oversee us than you could ever imagine. So it is.
So it is. That was beautiful, Michael.
And we'll thank Metatron for joining us today and helping
Absolutely.
each one of you all.
Thank you, Metatron.
And us as well continue this process of change and having a vision.
And not going to childhood, not going backwards, not going to what it was, not going to, I've never known that this way. Total visualize exactly what you want, and it will always manifest itself. You know, and I will have to say this, a number of times you have to go through traumas. You have to go through some hard times, because that's where you learn your lessons. If everything was perfect in your life from the day that you came in, then there would be no lessons to be learned. So you walk the walk, you walk the path, but you always keep a positive mental attitude ahead of you. And do not allow anyone to take you off of that path, because that path is totally the light of God that is always with you. And one step at a time. And I would entertain the idea to please take paper and pen out. And either now or as soon as this session is over, to go ahead now and put your blueprint down of what you need. What happens is that a lot of times you'll listen and you'll be all hyped up over doing it. And then the next day you will say, that was a great show last night. But you choose not to get a pen and a piece of paper out to write it down of what your dream is, not what Michael and Lee's dream is. We already know what our dreams are. We're already manifesting these dreams and going to continue manifesting dreams to the day that we go back and we transitions back into God's hands. It will always be that way. Every week when we meet, which is normally 2 or 3 times a week, there's not one time that I can remember that one or the other has not said, okay, we're doing this now, but we're going to be doing this next year. We're going to be doing that next year, but we're going to be doing this in 3 years from then. You see, we're way out in time. All that I'm asking is that you go just about tomorrow. And what will happen is when you get into the lessons of learning how all this works for you. And keep pulling that piece of paper out wherever you've got it. Put it in your purse, put it in your back pocket, put it in your billfold. My father actually had a plan that was in his billfold. And when he transitioned to the other side, that plan was, the paper was brown. It had been in there for so long. And my father is on the other side. And he point blank said to Michael Lott to tell me a few months ago, I guess, tell her that I am now in the white suit. Because you see, I knew that plan was after transitional time for him to be in that white suit and to be able to have the energy and the power and the God's way of bringing him back to give me that message. When that message came to me, it fulfilled me to go further and further into the destiny of what I know that I personally am supposed to do for the rest of my life. But if you've had a situation in your lifetime that has not been as positive as what I just said about mine with my father, it still is your destiny. Don't listen to other people that try to say you're losing it, or that it's not what it needs to be, or, I was raised this way and it'll always be this way, and this is the way my family is and it'll always be this way. I've listened to a lot of different scenarios when I went into my true path, and I did not let one person take me off of it. Because you have to have the strong will within your own self to follow your path. It's not their path. It's your path. And if you have children, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, it makes no difference. Neighbors, people you work with, do not buy into it because they have their own. And when they learn and when they see you as an example of where you go and all that you've talked about, of where you're going to go for your purpose, it's amazing how you can change people's lives. Because they at that point say, listen to all this stuff that was said to this individual. And they still did it. There's something to this. Because there's the example. So I'm going to start getting my pen and paper out too, and I'm going to start doing that as well.
Absolutely.
I mean, you never know when you're going to touch somebody. You just don't ever know when that is. I mean, in my purse, I carry a pad and a pen with me at all times. You will not see me without that. Because I don't know that I might be stopping at a stop sign and somebody out there needing a donation of some sort, which happened this past week, and there would be a lesson that I would get from that gentleman that I could write down and put a footnote down. Okay, I need to add this on to my purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I need to add this on. A veteran, someone that had hard times. You see, yeah. I need to add this on to my purpose, because there will be less of this on the interstates walking if I get busy with one of the purposes that I have to do. And then I get the group and the team and I get it all together, because then people buy into your dream, because they can see how adamant you are about it. There's not one time that I've ever questioned that we would not have a retreat, not one time. And there's been people, I'm sure, that said, God, that lady is nuts because she keeps talking about this. But you know what? I'm not nuts. That was the plan. And that was the plan for myself. That was the plan for a lot of other people to be on that property. They were also written into that plan.
Mm-hmm.
And I was written into that plan by the heavens, because I have been so strong-willed at knowing there's nothing that is going to hit me, knock me down, say whatever you want to say she's Dutch, she's whatever she is. It makes no difference to me, because I knew it was written. I knew within my heart it was. When you know it that strongly, you can't back down from that. You absolutely can't. Because my biggest desire is to have all the group of people that I've met in my lifetime to be able to be a part of this. because it's theirs too. I just had it on a piece of paper, but it's theirs too. And when you have that desire within you, it is nothing but grace. We all have grace built within us. And it's tapping into that grace to follow your dream. And it's your dream, and it's going to be amazing how many other thousands of people that's written in their chart as well, that will come from all faces of the universe to this property to do and to perform their purpose. That's what it's all about. It's not around just you. It's not just around your family. It's around the family of the world. Not just here. It's
Absolutely.
the world. It's the world. Oprah Winfrey has tapped into that greatly. She is a visionary of the world. Not a visionary of Chicago. Not a visionary of Nashville. Not a visionary of Alabama. She raised to the level of the visionary of the world. And she's done some of the greatest things that one human being could ever do. It's wonderful. And it's been total grace. And I would applaud Oprah, as well as other people. Ellen DeGeneres is wonderful with animals. Totally goes with animals and heartfelt with schools and all of this. Totally a wonderful thing. Dolly Parton. I can bring them up over and over and over again. People that just keep it a secret. They just write the checks and give it to somebody, and nobody knows where it comes from. But that's where it's at.
Absolutely.
That's where it's at. It's tapping into it and then sharing it with others. What a blessing that is.
What a blessing.
And Michael and myself, when we get this together, our next venture will be absolutely going over the world on stages and talking and helping and visualizing and help other people visualize this. And we can have a 2-hour session and have thousands of people there. And it will be ingrained because we have all the angels, ascended masters, the galactic part of this, God, Mother Mary, everybody that is right here in this room right this very second. They will all be with us and will be sent out into the crowds, and they will touch every single person there. And as a lot of people say, everything goes viral.
Absolutely.
And we will be a viral team
So it
that
is.
will absolutely do that, and so it is.
So it is. And so it is for you all out there, whatever your vision is. It doesn't matter what it looks like on a human perspective, whether it looks in your own mind, big or small. It doesn't matter, because it doesn't matter to the universe. It's just whatever your purpose and vision is.
It could be working at a local animal shelter.
And that
It
is
can
just
be-
as grace.
It's just as grace as
Doesn't make any
It
difference.
doesn't make any difference whether it's small or big.
Mm-mm.
Or if it's you just putting some money in an envelope and putting it maybe in your neighbor's door because they've had hard times.
That's all
the
part
same.
of oneness. It's all part of creating this space on the planet, this bringing in the love, anchoring in the love and the acceptance for all.
Well, it brings me back to as one more thought that I actually heard a comment this week about I just want to just stay in my house and be by myself, and I've cut everything off because everything is so negative. I just can't handle this anymore. Well, my comeback with that is you need to open your eyes, because you have a lot within you that can do a lot of great things for other people as well as for yourself. If you shut yourself down, how can you go out and obtain your purpose? And that was a very sad moment for me to be able to hear that. But to know that when this person walked out of here, there was a total vision of exactly what her purpose and what she was going to do. That's how you can say kind words to people and change their lives. That's how you can do it. If you see somebody on a I stop at a convenience store and they're sitting there and they have no place to go or no ride or no whatever that it is, give them a kind word. That might be all that person needs is another human touch that day. I went into a restaurant last week and this waitress came up and she said, was taking the order, and I said, well, how's your day today? And she looked at me and she said, you are the first person since I have been working at this job for months that has ever asked me that, and I thank you. What an amazing moment that was. Something
it's the small
just
things
like
that make all the difference in the world.
Exactly.
The grand things. It's the small things, the small steps, the touch of this as you've described, the helping hands that go out all over the place. That's the thing that makes the difference. Those are the heartfelt.
That's the heartfelt ones. And I also would have put out one more thought, because I don't know how much more time we've got, because I never look at the clock. Michael's the one that takes care of all the mechanical things. I just talk.
I've got a few more minutes.
Okay. But one thing I would like to say is that don't time yourself too much. So many people are so much into time.
Yeah.
They got the watch on, they've got the stopwatches, they've got the alarm clocks, they've got all this stuff going on. Clear it out.
That's being in your head.
It's just clearing it out.
Mm-hmm.
And, if you don't have time to clear your head in the morning, I don't particularly think about that, because even if I'm driving in a car, I can think while I'm driving and still be okay with that. But don't always go by other people's time or your time as far as clocks are concerned, because it's very important for you to have a conversation with yourself. Self is a huge thing. Tapping into yourself. So I would please say to always, if it's 5 minutes in a day, shut your eyes and have a conversation with you.
That's beautiful, Lee. I've had several thoughts. One that came through my head a few minutes ago that I have to share. There's a Patricia out there that's been listening to the show, and I heard very loud and clear that, Patricia, you've been thinking and going back and forth with a decision in your life, and it's time to make it. It's time to go for it. It's time to step and trust and have total faith that divine is going to back you up by making this life transformational change, and yes, you can do it. And so I had to share that because the Spirit just kept putting it through my head. So please trust and make your change, Patricia. You can do it. And the next piece that has been really strong in my head, Lee, did you have something to add with that? You started.
I was going to add something about Patricia.
Oh, go for it before I move on to the next.
The Patricia that I totally got in my head was a Patricia that I met 2 years ago. That's listened to this show. And this is a time, Patricia, to actually go for your dream. At that point in time, you had started going down that trail and then you backed off. And it's never too late. You need to start with the dream that you had then. And even though it didn't work out at that time, it's time to do it again.
And honey boo boo child, it is time when the angels speak and bring that kind of stuff through. There is some reassurance that it is time to be doing that sort of thing. Moving on.
Raise your head up high. Don't put your head down thinking that you're a failure, because you're not. Raise it up and raise it as high as you can get it toward the ceiling of the sofa that you're sitting on right now. And thank the heavens that you are going to succeed this time, because it's done.
Well, that's beautiful. Well, thank you, angels, for assisting this message to come through today, and we are totally open for any of these type of messages, whether they're in the middle of the show or whatever.
Whatever that is.
It
We
is.
don't have any script. We just go by what it is. We've said that before, but we
gosh.
truly go by whatever comes with us. It's a channel situation. So here we go again. We bless the divine for allowing us the grace of being here to be able to do this.
And I'd like to kind of end with one more topic that's in alignment with everything we've been talking about today, and it is opening up to receive. I know this has been a big one in my life, and I know it's a big one for many of y'all out there who are, you do and do a lot of giving, but remembering how important it is, even in little ways, to start receiving, because we don't manifest our dreams until we open up to receive the gifts that are given to us. We have to be willing. And sometimes I even had somebody the other day, I was talking to him, and I said, well, you've got to be willing to make a change and to open up to receive. And she kept coming back to me, and she said, I'm totally open and willing. And then it came into my mind, well, you haven't done anything different in the last 20 years. So how is that? If you're willing, you've also got to take a step. If you're going to receive, if you're going to truly receive a message that's coming into your head from divine, or you get a vision, it means you've got to receive it. And one thing, we had a conversation earlier that came up about this today, and I'm going to speak from my own experience. I've had a lot of different times in my life, and including my father, who passed when I was very young. I think I've told this story, but he's come back many times through Lee, directly to me over and over again, and other folks praising me for my life and where I'm at in my life, and all of these things over and over again. But after hearing that probably 50 times, I finally realized, why was he keep trying to give me that message? And I realized I had no feeling with it at all. Right. There used to be none. It's starting to open now. I would hear it and I'd go, oh, how wonderful. But it didn't really mean anything to me. And that is what I'm talking about. Where in your life do you say, oh yeah, I'm willing, or, put it out there to receive more abundance in your life, but when people give it to you, you don't really feel, you don't have that inner sense of total grace and gratitude for whatever it is. I've also recently, just this morning in the shower, the angels kept talking to me about how blessed my life and how wonderful I am. And that's really when it hit me this morning. Wait a minute. I'm really not allowing this in. This message keeps coming over and over again. And as I'm talking about this, I'm putting this out there to each one of you as well. That each one of you, no matter what you've done in your life, where you've been, what, bad choices, good choices, whatever they were, they're in the past, whatever they were, that you are beautiful just the way you are. You are full of gifts and are so blessed and perfect and wonderful. And how does that feel to you? Can you feel that? I can tell you I'm working on it. I'm working on letting that feeling come in and allow me to feel how wonderful I am into the core of my being. And I'll tell you, when we listen to this childhood meditation,
Right.
that there was a turning point in there for me today. So I'd highly recommend you all listen to that.
And what Michael is saying as far as the past, those were lessons. Mm-hmm. You were supposed to go there. Because when you have the lessons being taught to you, sometimes they're not the greatest things in your lifetime that you think that you've encountered. But there's definitely lessons there of something within that, no matter how difficult it was for you, no matter how difficult your parents were, no matter how difficult that any situation that you're in as far as partnerships, marriages, anything, children, whatever that it is. There's a lesson there to learn, and it's going through it, learning that lesson, and going on.
When you know better, you do better.
Exactly. You just do better. And I'd like to say one more thing. This came out today as well, and I had to just write it down as I was just told, say this. We are all healers. We are all healers.
Absolutely.
You give and you receive. That is a huge phrase that you need to write down.
It's a flow. It's a cycle.
It's not just 1, 2, 10 people, 20 people, who you see on the air, who, whatever that it is. We are all that.
It's wonderful.
And when we learn the lesson of accepting that within ourselves, that's when we change the whole world to where we get rid of the poverty, and we get rid of all the sadness, and we start a whole new world. It's not the end of the world, it's the beginning of a new world. And everybody out there has their share to do this. Everybody. It's not 1, 2, 10 people. It's everybody. That is one of your purposes that you have.
We can't say that enough, actually. It is every single one of y'all out there.
It's everyone. Everyone.
And back to, this whole giving and receiving thing, it's like a circle and a flow. You can't do one without the other. No. You got to have both. And you said something earlier about an experience that we had helping someone recently. And it reminded me, because that's one of the things in my life, I've had a tendency to isolate myself because I felt different. But the more I would isolate myself, the more lonely, the more that it would hold me back in a lot of areas. So I'm asking each one of you too, in this opening up, to receive more abundance, more love, to allow these new things in. And imagine the feeling, because it may be a little uncomfortable sometimes to allow new people, experiences that you don't know what they look like, or you don't have any control of it anymore, other than all that you can do is you can be what it is that you want. You have to be it first. You have to embody it, and then it flows into your life as if by magic, because it just will when you're open. And just to take a moment and imagine what it feels like, and feel into if there's a discomfort there, and be willing to go deeper with it. Open it up, even if there's discomfort, and go for it. It will bring so many gifts, and I have totally experienced this, and I keep experiencing more as I just keep opening my own life up to more people, more experiences, and more love.
I just had a channel thought, so I'll share it. You don't need to be someone else, just be you.
There you go. What a beautiful ending thought today.
Thank you so much for listening to us. We're so blessed, and we're sending blessings out to all of you.
All of you.
And so it is.
So it is. Lots of love.
Lots of love.